Thanks for joining me to color. Today we are going to be working on this super cute Stampin' Bella image called I'll Always Have Your Back. Aren't they cute? I love those cute little elephants. Very adorable. That huge flower. On this cute little card kit, I've used a new La La Land's craft design die called Shabby Flourishes, and then this is a Paper Smooches die called Wood Signs. I will put a link down in the description box, the card kit, and all the supplies I used. I would love for you to come shopping with me. If you have a question, make sure and leave me a comment and I will get back to you. Otherwise, I have already stamped my image on Neenah 80-pound Solar White cardstock with Memento Tuxedo Black ink. So let's color. So let's start out by giving our image a background. For that, we're going to use BG10, 70, and the Colorless Blender. I'm going to start with my BG10, and I want to add that in some of the darker shadow areas. So let's say underneath of his tail, and let's go underneath of his foot, and then over here, and then over this way, underneath of his little trunk. And then over here, the flower, let's go underneath the flower, and these leaves. And how about up here? Go ahead and go over his head a little bit there, or her head, whichever you prefer. And we're going to go down the stem. And then let's do a little bit underneath of these leaves. Like that. Then we're going to grab our BG70, and I'm going to start down here. I'm going to lay my pen down on top of my BG10, and then I'm just going to pull it out this way, and I want to go past the little stem for the flower. I'm going to go past that. And then over here, and then we're going to go up, and we'll fill in between the flower right here and the leaves, and in here, and then I want to bring this color out up this way. I'm going to go around these bees. So let's go over this way. And I'm kind of going in a circly motion so that the paper, it doesn't have, when I do it with the straight lines, it seems like there's just a bunch of little streaks on there. So I'm going to do it like this with my little circles. And I want to go past my cute little elephant over here. And how about we do a little bit more up here? And then, oh, sorry, I didn't pull it up far enough. But here, I'm going to go clear down here to the bottom of my elephant. And let's get underneath there and in between here. Okay, I think I got it all. So now I'm going to take my Colorless Blender, and I want to set it down on top of my elephant, and I'm going to pull it out over both colors and out into my white. And my Colorless Blender is pretty full. I mean, I can see it wiping on the top of the colors and getting the paper wet. It'll work best if it's not dry and dragging across the paper. And if you go past both colors, it will help soften this edge right over here. Okay, now, where I have put in the darkest color, I got a little bit of a line, so I'm going to go up here and just swirl over that a little bit. Swirl over the top of all that dark color one more time. and that gives them a little bit of a background. For the grass and the leaves, we're going to use G94, 24, 12, and our YG01. Let's go up here and we'll do these leaves first. Get it to focus there. I'm going to start with my G94, and let's do a little bit up here on this top section of this leaf, where it looks like this part is folded in towards the center. And then same for this one, there's just a little bit, it looks like it's folded. And then for the stem, or for the top of the flower here, where it connects, I'm going to go just a little bit in there. And then let's do the inside fold of this big leaf. And then I'm also going to brush a little bit up these little lines that are right there on the leaf. And we'll do the inside of that one. Then we're going to grab G24, and we want to soften that line. So we're just going to go right along the edge. And get up here, do a little bit. And then this one. And then again, there's those little lines in there, so I'm going to go ahead and flick my pen up the center there a little bit. Then I'm going to grab G12. So I'm going to fill in this little one, and this little tiny one right here. And then for these, let's go a little bit up here, and then I'm going to do a little bit along the bottom. I'm going to fill in this one up here, and then do a little line along the bottom. Fill in the rest of the bottom of the flower. And then this one, let's do a little dab right here, and then brush over those little lines we made earlier. Then I want to take my YG01, and I want to go over the entire thing and fill in the rest. And maybe we'll give this little guy right here just a little dab. I'm going to hop down here and we're going to give him some grass. So again, I'm going to start with my G94. And let's go. I'm just going to kind of follow the lines that are already here. That to get us started. And we'll go with G24. It's the same thing. I'm just going to draw some lines across. And then we'll add a little bit of our G12. And you can do your grass however you want. I'm just making some lines across here. And then I'm going to lastly do YG01. So I'll do a few of those. And then I'm going to go back with my G94. Just a little bit of that back in. And then there's some grass that's already on here. So I'm going to go ahead and flick my pen over some of that grass. And we can even put some down here where there isn't any. And then I'm also going to use G24 just to add a few more in here. Let's hop up here and do these bees. So I'm going to do the stripes with YR31, and there's nothing too fancy about it. There's just one little stripe here in the middle of this bee, and then there's two on this one. So nothing too fancy there, I just filled those in. And then for the flower, we're going to use our 35, 32, 11, and then RV 000. And we're going to start with R35. And let's go up here, and there's already some lines on the flower, so I'm going to go ahead and use those and just flick right up through those. That, and then we're going to add R32. So again, let's go, just flick. I'm going to start inside of my R35 and then flick up this way. And then I'm going to go with R11. Same thing, we're just going to flick along. And I'm going to go ahead and do all these colors again, so I'm not worried that it's not going, that they're not blending all the way. Because I found the first time I colored it that I wanted it to be a little bit darker. And this is RV 000. I'm just filling in the ends. And then we're going to take our R35 and we're going to do this whole thing again. So let's start over here on this side. And then we will do R32. And then R11. And then I want to go over the whole thing with my RV 000. I'm just going to go to top to bottom and smush all those colors together. So let's go do our cute little elephants. For that, we're going to use in 6, 4, 2, and 0, and it'd be perfectly fine for you to use the C's, the T's, or the W's, depending on what color gray you want to use. I just picked these just for something different. So I'm going to start with my N6, and let's add a little bit of shadows to this little cutie over here first. So for him, I'm going to go with the bottom of his foot, and he's got some little toes there, so I'm going to go around that. I'm going to try not to color those because I want them to be pink. And then we're going to go along his belly, and then on the other side of his ear, a little bit. And then over here, we want to go down this side of his foot. And again, try not to color the toes. And then we're going to go up his ear, and then I'm going to go along the bottom of his trunk, like that. Then I'm going to grab N4, and with my N4 we want to just soften that line, so I'm going to touch down on top and just pull out here away from that darkest line. That, and then for this, let's go around over here. We'll add a little bit on his ear there. I'm going to go with N2. And then N0 to fill it in. I'm also going to do his little tail. And I'm not worried that it looks blotchy. I'm going to do her tail too, as long as I'm right here. And then I'm not worried about it being blotchy because I want to go ahead and do a second coat. So we're going to skip N6. We're going to go with N4. And I'm just going to make it a little bit darker. And then we'll add N2. And then our N0. And I like to use this last one to go all the way across. And then let's go over here and do her. So again, I'm going to start with my N6. And let's add a little bit of dark. So I'm going to start, she has a little line here on her back. I'm going to use that to go down this way, and I'd color the tail in right here. And then we're going to go down her foot. And again, try to avoid those toes. And then we want to go the inside of her leg, her belly, and then back around the bottom of this foot. And then let's do a little bit on her too, on the back side of her ear. And then we're going to go right along the bottom of her face. Like this. And maybe a little bit right here. Okay, then we're going to add N4. So same thing as we did with the little guy. We're just going to brush along this line and spread it out a little bit. Remember, try to avoid those toes. I'm going to go around them so I don't have to worry about them again. Oh, for her head, let's do, I'm going to leave a little bit of white. I'm going to go along here like this and come back down. And then let's do the inside of her trunk right here and these little lines on her trunk. And then for her ear, I want to go like this. And then I'm going to add N2. So we're just going to go right along the line again like we did last time. And again, I'm not worried that it's not blending because I want to go back with a second coat. And up here, let's go and for her ear, I'm going to go around like this. And then I'm going to fill it in with N0. And nothing fancy, I'm just going to fill in the rest of the white spots. Okay, look at all those lines, that's terrible. So we're going to go back with our second coat. I'm going to grab N4. And I just want to go right back over where I already laid this color down. Work my way over to the other side. going to add into go up here and add some to her ear. And then we'll finish it off with our N0. So I'm going to take my N0 and I'm going to swirl it around on the whole area of my elephant. Let's get her face a little bit more here. And I'm going to get her ear. I've got quite a bit of ink on there, so her face right here in the center is kind of popping up a little bit because it's wet. But I'm not worried because once it dries, it will be flat again. So if yours does that, don't stress about it. It will be fine in the end. Okay, so for their toes and a little bit of color for their cheeks, we're going to use R11 and RV000. So let's give her this bigger elephant a cheek first with R11. We're just going to lightly brush a little circle on here like that. And then we'll go down here and do this little guy. And then I want to soften it with my RV000. So I'm brushing clear across my R11 and going out a little bit into the white. And then for their toes down here, I'm going to take R12 and I'm going to cover in this cute little guy's little small ones because there's not much space there. And then for this bigger guy, our girl, I'm going to do the back half. And then I'm going to go over the entire thing with my RV000. And I think I'll give her cheek just a little bit more. So let's do R11 again. She needs a little bit more pink on there. And then our RV000. So for both elephants, I'm going to take a little bit of my colorless blender and I'm just going to swirl it around the entire elephant and give it a kind of a little mottled look, a little bit more. And it'll help blend some more of these lines too. So we're just going to smush it all back together with our colorless blender. And I'm just going in a circle. So same for this guy. Let's go in a circle all the way over him or her, whichever you prefer. So there is our beautiful I'll Always Have Your Back all colored up. Didn't it turn out cute? So again, here is my finished card. On my finished card, I did my Spica clear glitter pen on the stem and the little sections of the leaf here, the little stems that go up to the leaves, and then this little swirl on each of the bees and their wings. And then I took my Wink of Stella brush in clear and put it on the little flower here. I don't know if you can see it's sparkly, but I added some on there so it'll be all sparkly. So I hope you had fun coloring with me today. If you have a question, make sure and leave me a comment and I will get back to you. Otherwise, we'll see you next time. Have a great day. Bye.